So, artificial intelligence, it's the topic, right? The technology that's supposed to change, well, everything. But if you're a bookkeeper or an accountant, that promise can sound a whole lot like a threat. So, today we're going to cut through all that noise and figure out what the real impact of AI is on the profession. Is it a job killer? Or is it the most powerful tool we've ever been handed? Let's dive in.
This question, it popped up in an online forum for bookkeepers, and it just gets right to the heart of the anxiety so many professionals are feeling. It's a real concern, it's a valid concern, and it's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
Okay, so here's our game plan. First, we'll tackle that big job question and put it in perspective. Then, we'll get real about what AI is automating right now and where humans are still absolutely essential. After that, we're going to uncover some critical risks that people aren't talking about nearly enough before finally looking ahead at what it's going to take to be the bookkeeper of tomorrow.
All right, let's start with the big one, the question that's on everyone's mind. Are the robots coming for our jobs? It's time for a balanced reality check, one that cuts through all the hype and fear.
It is so important to remember that we have totally been here before. As one Redditor smartly pointed out, people have been worried that technology would make accountants obsolete since the very first computers showed up. And yet, from paper ledgers to spreadsheets to accounting software, the profession hasn't just survived, it has actually grown and evolved. AI is just the next big step in that evolution. So, if AI is just the next evolutionary step, what does that step actually look like on the ground? Let's separate the promise from the reality and break down what AI is really automating in bookkeeping right now. First, a really quick but super important distinction. When we say automation, we're talking about software that follows a fixed set of rules, like a macro on a spreadsheet. Simple. But AI? AI is different. It's about learning from data to make predictions or decisions, kind of like a human would. Think of automation as the hands doing a repetitive task over and over, while AI is the brain learning how to do that task smarter. And this, right here, is where AI is an absolute game changer today. We're talking about the high-volume, time-consuming, and, let's be honest, often tedious parts of the job. All that manual data entry, matching purchase orders to invoices, categorizing thousands of transactions. This is where a machine's ability to just churn through data is a massive, massive advantage. But okay, let's pump the brakes for a second. Anyone who's actually used modern accounting software knows the reality on the ground. As this user hilariously points out, those helpful suggestions from the current AI are, well, they're often anything but. It's a brilliant little reminder that while the promise of AI is huge, the day-to-day reality still needs a heavy, heavy dose of human supervision and correction. That said, the efficiency gains are, wow, they're undeniable. One business operations manager actually reported that by automating things like expense coding and journal entries, their need for manual bookkeeping hours was cut by a factor of 3 to 5. Now, the key here is that the work didn't disappear, it just streamlined, with the humans shifting from doing the work to reviewing it. And that shift from doing to reviewing is the perfect way to get into our next section. If AI is going to handle more of the high-volume grunt work, what are those irreplaceable skills where humans still and always will rule? Oh man, this quote just says it all, doesn't it? The old rule of crap in, crap out is more true than it has ever been. This professional is literally cleaning up a massive mess created by someone who just blindly trusted the AI. See, an AI can categorize a transaction, sure, but it can't understand context, it can't question a really weird entry, and it can't fix a fundamental error in the data. That takes a human brain. And that's really the heart of it. AI simply can't replicate these high-value human skills. It can't build trust with a nervous business owner. It can't offer strategic advice that's actually tailored to their specific goals. It can't understand the nuance behind some ambiguous transaction. And look, when you're in a high-stakes situation like an audit or a merger, you do not want an algorithm making the final judgment call. I absolutely love this analogy because it just nails it. AI isn't the T-1000 Terminator coming to take your job. It's the upgrade from the typewriter to the modern computer. It's a tool, a phenomenally powerful one, that radically enhances your efficiency and your capability. But it's still a tool that needs a skilled professional to operate it. Okay, but like any powerful new tool, from the first computer to modern AI, we have to talk about something that gets glossed over way too often. The new and pretty complex risks that come along for the ride. And believe me, this goes way beyond just job security. This visual really captures the idea perfectly. On the surface, AI looks sleek, futuristic, and seamless. But underneath that shiny interface are all these layers of complexity. And with that complexity come new vulnerabilities that every single business and professional needs to understand.
And right at the core of a lot of these risks is something people in tech call the black box problem. With some of the more advanced AIs, you can feed it data and it'll give you an answer, but you can't easily see the logical steps it took to get there. Now, for financial reporting, where explainability and being able to show your work are everything, that's a massive challenge.
And this black box issue leads to some very specific, very real new risks. In cybersecurity, bad guys can intentionally feed an AI bad data. It's a technique called data poisoning, specifically to corrupt its future outputs. On the fraud front, AI can be used to create scarily realistic deepfake videos or voices to impersonate executives. And of course, there's a huge risk of bias. If an AI is trained on flawed historical data, its decisions will just carry that bias forward, creating some serious compliance headache. So, given this whole new landscape of incredible tools and kind of scary new risks, how do you actually succeed? The answer is all about evolving the role itself, shifting from being a technician who just inputs data to becoming a true advisor who interprets it. Let's break down what that really means. The path forward is actually pretty clear, and it breaks down into 3 key steps. Number 1, master the tools. The goal isn't to compete with AI, it's to become a skilled operator of AI. 2, level up your skills. Use all that time freed up by automation to move beyond data entry into higher value work like analysis and forecasting. And 3, become an advisor. Combine those new skills to help clients not just record their numbers, but truly understand them to make smarter business decisions. This comment just lays it out there, plain and simple. AI won't replace bookkeepers, but bookkeepers who use AI will absolutely replace those who don't. The competitive advantage, the whole game, is going to shift to the professionals who embrace these new technologies and weave them into their workflow to provide a better, faster, and smarter service. At the end of the day, this is the fundamental shift. For decades, the main value of a bookkeeper was to create an accurate record of the past. In the age of AI, that just becomes the starting point, the baseline. The real value, the future, comes from using that clean, instantly available data to look forward. It's about providing insights, analysis, and strategic guidance that helps a business win. So we end right back where we started, but hopefully with a totally new perspective. The defining question of this whole technological shift, it isn't about replacement, it's about readiness, it's about evolution. Businesses are going to need human financial expertise more than ever, but they're going to need it in a new way. The only real question left is, are you ready to be that advisor?